Talk meeting. We should be able to start when we get ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna try it. Thank you for being here with me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so that will be up there. Okay, I think I got everything. I'm not ready. And I click that, so he should have that. He goes. Those are on, right?
Yeah. Right, well, I turned it on, but I don't see anything. Oh, I hit the wrong button.
Did you know? I don't think you did.
I did. I hit the TV button.
Oh. Why? Why is it doing that?
It says October 19th. Hour off. I'm not seeing it. There you are.
But that's not right. I don't know why they have that. I don't know what's going on with that. Did he go back in there? Huh? Is that, will that clear up, do you know, or is that somebody that we need to get a hold of here?
It's not on my screen.
Okay.
You tried another screen?
That's the only one that would turn on. We're not quite really how to change the screen.
It won't turn.
Is it source?
Yeah, it's not turning on. I wonder if that's,
Or is that IT?
is that him?
No, he's on that.
That guy? Oh, did it?
Yeah.
I didn't think it was, and because he was in there, but. I'll call
My hair
Kirsten.
is super staticky.
Yeah, it's good in here.
Is it okay? I mean, I don't want to touch it.
I'll call her and just let her know. He said it's looking good and that we don't have to worry about
I
it.
asked her how do we get the other TV on. Do you know if they're when we start or?
I don't know. That's not right though. She's not answering.
And I just say you can leave.
Yeah.
And then Letty's like, it doesn't matter because she's like, pull it up over here. And then run this over here.
This, you're right.
But you know, I heard it click. She's clicking on Joe.
There it is. That one's coming up.
The date. And that
That
one's
one's
good.
clear.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
How did you
whatever.
get that one to turn on? You just
I don't know. I just hit TV power.
maybe because I was oh, I pushed the TV earlier.
I don't know. That one's fine. So this one's working right. Right?
Yeah, and it has the right space in there.
It's gonna drive me nuts on that TV now. Oh, I wonder if I should like go to. Well, they should have all got it. I sent it out the other day.
It just came out an hour before too.
Yeah.
So I got it again, and nobody's.
Nobody said anything.
That one
Ed
person.
Monig did.
You said something?
I didn't get it. I'm like, well, it was sent to you, and I sent it again. So
Ding dong.
nobody else.
Are we muted?
Unmute. Start video.
I'll be up here for a few minutes and I'll go downstairs.
You cannot.
Hey guys, just so you know, we are live on YouTube, so anything that you say is being recorded.
I think you have to. Maybe you can hide yourself. Right, that's self-mute at the bottom. Yeah. Okay. Mhm.
Let's see where.
Hey Rob.
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, I'm glad to see you made it. Did you get my dialogue that you need to read at the beginning of the meeting?
I did indeed.
Okay, thank you. Just wanted to make sure you got that.
Jolanda?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
I guess we'll probably go over this at the meeting for future webinars, Zoom meetings. We'll use the same link that Marty sent us for this meeting. We
Yep,
can
it'll be
see-
sent out every month. It's a reoccurring meeting.
Okay, here, you will get a new notification. Just use the link that's in that notification. We don't need to save the link. There was some indication in one of the messages that we should bookmark the link.
Hey Ed, this is Cassie. I'm here with Joe. So the Zoom is set up to automatically generate those invites, but what you can do it's unique to you is go ahead and bookmark it. And that way you just can go to that bookmark and it'll log you in every single time.
Okay,
But that's just a nice feature of you're gonna get it so many days prior to the meeting and always an hour before.
excellent. Thank you.
Hey, Rob.
Yes,
You do have a quorum.
excellent. Just crossing off names. All right, welcome everyone. It's Open Space Advisory Committee meeting time. I have a bit of a script to read for those who might be joining us for public comment. We usually don't have much of a public comment, but if we have anybody waiting in the wings, this is for you. Thanks for joining our meeting being held via Zoom webinar. When I call for public comment, please use the raise/lower hand feature to let me know you wish to be recognized. Our host will allow you to talk and you'll need to unmute your microphone. If you have joined us by phone today, you can raise and lower your hand by pressing *9 and mute and unmute using *6. If you are participating by phone, I'll call on you by reading the last 4 digits of your telephone number. If you are participating by computer, I'll call the name that was listed when you entered our webinar. That's the spiel for today. We'll start with a roll call. Yolanda, do you want to do a roll call?
Yeah, I can.
Perfect.
You guys hear me okay?
Yes,
Eric Anderson.
Here.
Christine Ackland. Absent. Charles Pescan. Did I say that?
Here.
Deanne Boblitz. Deanna.
Here.
Thank you. Rob Erickson.
Here.
Julie Gardner.
Here.
Alexis Gibson.
Here.
Daniel Gunwat.
Here.
Catherine Ibsen.
Here.
Ed Monig.
here.
Reagan Whitworth.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Wonderful. Welcome, everyone. Our next agenda item is approval of minutes. Has everyone had an opportunity to review our last session's minutes?
Yes, I have.
Any changes, additions, comments, anything of that sort? In that case, we will entertain a motion to approve the minutes. Anyone have a motion?
So moved.
Charles has moved to approve the minutes. Is there a second?
I second.
Edward has seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Very good. The minutes are approved. Our next agenda item is public/guest comments. This is for anybody who might be joining our webinar either on their computer or via telephone, now's your time to shine. I don't see anybody waiting right now.
No, there's nobody.
Okay, no public or guest comments. Do we have any announcements from or for the committee?
I don't know if this is the appropriate time to ask the question, and I don't know if Grant will be on this meeting. I was curious, I was interested to know if the city had approved the acceptance of Knife River Ponds from JTL Corporation.
We will get there in just one moment.
Excellent, thank you. You're on, thanks.
I'm here.
And probably another thing that we'll probably get to in one moment, sort of under the heading of announcements. Grant, if I'm correct, public hearings will be before the city council on the Schmidt Road project and Dean Stone, November 23rd, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right?
Yes, I was gonna do a full update. Just
awesome.
In the hopper right now and at this meeting, so
perfect.
If we want to wait just a moment.
Any other announcements? All right, we have no action items today. We have just some discussions and some updates on open space projects. Grant, take it away.
Well, hello everyone. Thanks for being here. Joe is I don't know if it really matters, but do we have the video function disabled for a reason? Okay.
You guys should be able to. I'll go back through, but you should be able to make video. Are you having trouble?
Yeah, I'd say the function is disabled. It's not a big deal. I just, we're already virtual, so it would maybe be beneficial to see each other's faces, but that's okay either way.
I will try to get it fixed for you guys. So give me a minute. Keep going.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just jump in. So, yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a quick update on where our sort of front burner projects are in the various stages of the process, and sort of give you an update on some of the projects that you guys have reviewed and recommended lately. I'll start with the big one, Dean Stone corridor. That one has passed through Parks and Conservation Committee of City Council, and City Council will have the final public hearing for that project on November 23rd. And just a note, this is kind of a wonky thing, and you guys probably aren't tracking on this. So typically in the past, our process was to have a hearing at a city council meeting, and council voted to approve or deny a project. There are some new guidelines or process. Basically, we have a public hearing, and then there's basically a week of sort of public comment because of the virtual platform, I think, just in case certain members of the public were having issues with technology or couldn't make it. And then the next council meeting is when the vote actually occurs. So the presentation would occur at the first meeting, but no vote. And then the second meeting the next week, or whenever the next council meeting is when the council members actually vote, if that makes any sense. So 11/23 will be our public hearing, and the vote will actually occur on November 30th. That project so the trail is essentially complete up there. They've worked to put the final touches on it, as much as they could before the snow started falling. They got pretty close to doing that, working with Morgan and his team. And so basically, CLAC, Conservation Lands Advisory Committee, has started the process of developing the Recreation and Resource Management Plan, which will, as we discussed, be an extension of the South Hills Recreation Management Plan. So basically, they're going to, over the winter, just sort of, iron out the details of types of use, signage packages, where certain infrastructure is needed, if at all, so on and so forth, seasonal closures, things like that. And then develop and hopefully adopt a plan by spring, when we plan to hopefully open that trail. I know some people were interested in this. There's a portion of that trail, and I'm sorry, I should have pulled up a map, and I don't have one super handy right now, but that is proposed, that wasn't part of the actual proposal, that will basically be a spur trail from the Deanstone corridor onto the South Hill Spur property. That, this is just a point of information, that actual trail spur is just sort of subject to CLAC's approval. And so it's not part of the actual proposal, but Alleys and some other folks really want to see that as a good loop. And I tend to be in that camp as well. So just know that if you guys are wondering about the addition of that, it is sort of in review. And then I'm working to just sort of finalize the last bit of due diligence and sort of the legalities of it all. I'm reviewing title with Five Valleys Land Trust attorney. There's a couple of issues up there related to some neighbors. We've got a CLAC member actually that has a piece of property up there, and there's basically some ongoing negotiations there. But anyway, all this rambling is to tell you there's nothing that would lead me to believe that the property won't transfer by the end of the year. And so all is proceeding, I think, as smoothly as we anticipated. Any questions on Deanstone?
Has there been any pushback on the city's acquisition? Anything we should be concerned about on the public hearing on November 23rd?
No, not at all. It's been pretty kumbaya, to be honest. I think we've just seen a lot of support. Five Valleys has been, obviously it's one of their flagship projects, so they're ginning up a lot of support. But I haven't heard, at Parks and Conservation, I didn't hear any concerns. It was nothing but support and encouragement from those members of council. So, and I've been kind of visiting with city leadership and some other folks behind the scenes, and I haven't heard anything that would lead me to believe that there's much of a front against the project.
One other quick you use the acronym, maybe I'm mishearing, FEWAC or something like that. What is that?
CLAC, Conservation Lands Advisory Committee.
Oh, okay. Yeah, CLAC. Okay.
Yeah, we've got a lot of acronyms flying around, so
yeah,
I'll do my best to explain them. Any other questions?
Grant, I didn't have a question, but I just wanted to make a statement. I haven't been up there to see the trail yet, but the photos I've seen look really good. So I'm excited to get up there and actually use it next spring.
Yeah, same here. I was able to get out there, only a few weeks ago before the snow, and it's a really well built trail. It's the views are spectacular. I mean, you guys are up there to see the views, but the trail itself just looks really, really sharp and durable, and just the route of it is really cool. It's pretty diverse. So yeah, I'm excited too. Any other questions before I move on? Hearing none. So Schmidt Road, as Rob mentioned, so we actually had the hearing for that, the first hearing where I did a presentation to council this Monday, so September 9th. And so council will vote on that project this coming Monday. Did I say September? I meant November 9th. This coming Monday, November 16th, council will actually vote. With that project, I didn't really hear anything negative. I think coming from you guys and from other members of council, there were some questions related to the bridge, which we kind of have, we provided the same sort of consistent messaging that we told you guys, that, we haven't heard any indication that the bridge location isn't viable. All of that being said, we know that there's going to be some, bank migration issues and some potential river channelization and erosion issues that we have to address, but we've got HDNR that will be on board to do that. We're just trying to figure out where the funding will come from for the actual bridge. So that was the only sort of outlying question. Other than that, it was a really well received project. Any questions on Schmidt Road? moving on. If you guys recall, this was, it seems like forever ago. There were 3 capital improvement projects that you guys reviewed. One of them was the Missoula Trailhead improvements project, which within that project was the Waterworks Hill Trailhead Improvement Project, which you guys, if you recall, we're going to build a new parking area, access road, and all abilities loop around the water infrastructure up on Waterworks Hill. And so we basically our plan is to break ground up on Waterworks, hopefully next spring, summer, and start building that new parking area and getting that area cleaned up and, building the trail. We hit some snags with the access road because it does cross through a small portion of an adjoining private parcel. And so I was sort of charged with stepping in and helping negotiate that project to get the access road through that private property. Council approved those documents, and essentially we're just waiting on an exhibit to be created without going into too much detail. At that point, we've got a landowner that's hopefully willing and ready to sign. At that point, we're ready to construct the road, basically. So hopefully, when the thaw happens next year, we'll be hitting the ground running. We're releasing the RFQ yesterday, basically. And so that one, hopefully, I don't know when the planned sort of completion date of that is. I imagine maybe 2022 plan on, but anyway, it's proceeding, and we hit some snags, but I think at this point we're moving it along. Any questions on Waterworks Hill?
Grant, can you remind me of are there final designs done for that yet? Or is
I don't know if they're final. I think that they're close to it. We've got the location of the parking area, the location of the trail. I don't know that we've gotten down to the full details. I think that's more of a question for Neil Miner. I can ask about that if you want. I know that he's got the RFQ put together. And so I imagine that, whatever the city does from its end as far as construction and everything is already, all those schematics are already planned out. And in the development agreement for the road and the parking area, there's, details on curb and gutter and sidewalk and all that stuff. But is that sort of what you're asking?
Yeah, I was just wondering. It sounds like whatever is left to do on the design will be done over the winter, and then bidding will also happen, and then the contractor will break ground after thaw.
Yes. Yep. Exactly. That's exactly right.
Good.
Grant, it was a fairly complex funding package for that project. Is that all holding up fairly well?
Yeah, as far as I know, we have to some of those funding sources. We got a recreational trails program grant. So there is some timing that's involved, but we're not reaching any of those sort of deadlines anytime soon. But we do need to break ground next year to meet some of those deadlines. So that's part of the sort of the motivation to get moving on it. And it's our, if not the most highly used, I think. Actually, I heard recently that Lincoln Hills Jumbo Trailhead is now the most highly used trailhead, at least for this year. But anyway, we obviously want to clean that up. There's a lot of parking issues and conflicts that occur up there. So it's at the top of our list to get that cleaned up and ready to roll. And just some cool new opportunities up there with the All Abilities Trail. Knife River Ponds, if you guys recall, I gave you guys a project overview on that one, I believe last time we met. Council did vote to approve the transfer of that parcel from Knife River to the city. Basically, we're just waiting on documents to be recorded, and then that will be official. So it's all through the city process. It's just a matter of signing the papers. Friends of Missoula parcel, if you guys remember, the Friends of Missoula Parks owns a small 2-acre-ish parcel along the river adjacent to Knife River Ponds. I'm going to be taking that one through council pretty soon to transfer that. That's just basically going to be a quick claim deed. That one's going to be, a slam dunk. So hopefully that will all happen by the end of the year and we'll be in full ownership. And then we will begin the planning process sort of planning and design, resource assessment, all that stuff in 2021, with an eye towards sort of completing the planning and design process and starting to break ground on infrastructure and things like that in 2022. At this point, that's the plan, at least. And the vision remains, sort of a publicly accessible sort of parkland preserve. Those ponds are really important for migratory waterfowl. There's a lot of really excellent restoration potential there, and there's pretty robust riparian habitat and grassland. So it's just it's going to be a cool project. I'm really excited about it. I think there'll hopefully be some educational component to it, and we're working with the university to come up with they own a property directly to the east there that really has not much going on with it. So we're hoping to do some sort of collaborative planning process to sort of create a more comprehensive system, and then tie it all into, sort of an extension of Fort Regional Park, obviously much less developed. Any questions there? And then I just wanted to give you guys a couple of quick updates. I had some conversations. As you guys know, I've been working on extending the Milwaukee Trail, and that's sort of prioritized in almost all of our plans. And so I had a really productive conversation with the airport, and they are willing to sell us their portion of the Milwaukee Trail, which is pretty substantial. I think it's in the neighborhood of about 3 miles. And they're not really trying to get market value, but they do have some FAA regulations that do require an appraisal. So I'm going to work through that sort of FAA process for help. I'm just basically going to lead that horse to water. I'm going to do most of the heavy lifting for them because it's out of their wheelhouse, and they're all very busy with the expansion going on. But I'm hoping to tackle that first thing in the new year, and so hopefully we can, just keep the momentum with the Milwaukee Trail going. Just wanted to give you guys that heads up. And then I wanted to talk just briefly about a cool opportunity. I want to leave some time for some other questions. But I was approached by the National Wildlife Federation that owns, I'm going to share my screen here, that owns some land up Grant Creek that sort of straddles the Grant Creek drainage and Sawmill Gulch of the Rattlesnake. Let's see if I can share my screen here. Bear with me, sorry. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so the National Wildlife Federation owns about 750 acres right in this area. So this parcel, all of this down here, and a couple of little chunks up here. And they basically, this is the only property that the National Wildlife Federation owns. It was a gift from the family that owned it, I think in the 70s, and they basically want to see it transition to, a conservation owner, but they're open to, some public access, some potential trail building, minimal impact as far as recreation goes, but they are open to that. And I was out on site with, there's a fellow that lives up in the area that just volunteer sort of manages it, with him and the National Wildlife Federation and the Forest Service and Five Valleys Land Trust just a couple of weeks ago. And I think I just wanted to bring this to your attention. I think it's a really cool opportunity to sort of secure this piece that's highly used by elk. As a sort of corridor, it's documented. They use it. They pass between the Rattlesnake and some conserved ranch land over here, where they typically spend the winter. And so it's a really great piece of habitat. It's a really great, has really great connectivity potential. Bluebird is right, not there. Bluebird's right here. If you remember the Bluebird project. And the county owns some subdivision land right in here. And so essentially it's potential to have a trailhead off of Grant Creek Road that would then lead users up into the Rattlesnake potentially, and then potentially have some connectivity. This is more of a longer term thing, but trying to connect Bluebird over to that property as well. I think it's possible. So there's some cool potential there, and I just wanted to bring it to your attention. Just so your tracking on it. I think, this was very preliminary. It seems like it might make sense for the Forest Service to own and manage a lot of this because it is adjacent to their other land. But there are 2 private parcels down here that are not owned by the National Wildlife Federation, but that they do have a relationship with. So I was going to reach out to the private landowner down there where the trailhead would actually be to see if we can't secure a purchase or an easement down there so that we could build a trailhead. So it would be essentially, a cross jurisdiction relationship where the city owned and managed and maintained the trailhead, and then the forest basically owned and maintained and managed this, beast over here. So anyway.
That's a really cool looking project.
Yeah.
Any questions? Well, we've got 6 minutes before we start the subcommittee. Is there, I guess we've got Rob to run through the rest of the agenda. I'm sure there's, call for, new business or anything like that. But does anybody have any questions about just sort of open space projects in general? If that's not too nebulous.
How is the progress on the riverfront restoration improvement activities? Are those designs proceeding?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, that one is proceeding. I believe, I think we're trying to procure final plans and designs over the winter. I think it sounds like it's going to be a busy winter of planning and designing. And then I think it's going to be a fairly slow rollout on actually breaking ground. But in the meantime, I'm sort of charged with, as you guys know, we've been over to apply open space bond funds to a property. It has to be designated as open space. And so I'm going to basically identify all the parcels where we'll probably invest open space dollars as far as actually, on the ground infrastructure, and make sure that they're designated so that we can do that when we're ready to actually break ground. But yeah, I think that project is going to get major legs in 2021.
All right. Any other questions for Grant? I mean, that was efficient, Grant. Good job.
Yeah, sorry, I can be just kind of speed through things, but yeah, I wanted to make sure we had a little bit of time for questions.
Well, if there aren't any other questions, that is about it for our agenda. Yolanda, maybe you can tell us for the folks that are participating in the subcommittee, do they just stay on the line or do they have to choose another link?
You're going to log out. We're going to end this meeting, and I sent a separate link for those individuals, and you will log in that way. Please use your link as if you go out to the agenda, you come in as a attendee and not a panelist.
Okay, those are your marching orders. Is there any other business for the committee as a whole? Hearing none, we will be adjourned. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.
Bye, everyone.
Thank
See
you.
ya.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. Stay healthy out there.